We're chatting to my friend Kerrie Richards from Merino Country, and her factory is just south of Brisbane. Kerrie, can you just, how are you feeling and coping at this time of disruption?
For me right now, nothing's changed. I'm going to work, going home, going to work. The only thing is I can't find any toilet paper. and we do feel at the moment with what we're doing with our business, there is a fair bit of pressure there on us at the moment so maybe I'm feeling that pressure and we're just focusing at the moment on doing a job.
Yes. And so can you give us a little bit more info about your business and yourself, Kerrie?
Yep. I have a business, it's called Merino Country, and we manufacture 100% merino wool products, which we've done for 27 years. We've developed one of our own fabrics, which is a merino jersey, and it's really good for everyday wear. In the last many years, we've been doing all sorts of wool products from underwear through to outerwear for everyday living.
And how are you, you said you're really busy with your business. How are you adapting and pivoting to what the current needs are?
Okay. Luckily in January, we had Dr. Dimity Dornan approach us regarding doing a wool face mask for her grandson to wear to uni. He has allergies and sensitivities, and she was looking for something natural for him to wear. And we actually developed a merino wool face mask in January, not knowing what was ahead of us. And what has happened is that we found that the properties of wool are very good for acting as a face mask and as a barrier. So what we've done is we're diverting all our production and all our fabrics into face masks at the moment. So we're not doing any production in our normal lines, and we're actually in the process of gearing up more machine, employing more people and getting masks out.
So local manufacturers coming to the fore.
Absolutely, and it's really interesting. We've had phone calls from everyone from Queensland Health to State Development to all sorts of different people trying to look at our capacity of what we can actually manufacture here in Queensland. And I think it's terrible, but out of something like this, I think what it's highlighting is the importance of being able to manufacture locally.
And Kerrie, what sort of skills and life experience are you drawing on at the moment, to cope with all of this?
Well, I think being a country person and having a country background, I'm fairly pragmatic, and I guess what we're looking at is just both my husband and I drawing on, I guess, the skills that we've got in just facing adversity and being able to pull out all stops when need be, and looking at what we've got that we can actually use to deliver something that's of use to the public. And I think for me personally, all the years of, I guess, having to think outside the square and having to look at what we've got that we can use to make things happen. And I think that's something really important. There's no point in sitting back and waiting for someone else to do it. We've just got to do it. And I think that's, for both Mal and I, it's been very much a joint project the last couple of weeks in both drawing on our skills that each of us have in different areas of the business, which I guess all the years of mustering cattle, fighting droughts, flood, all sorts of things. We're used to being, for us, this idea of lockdown is not really anything new. When you get flooded in or, when you're living on the land, I think you tend to become your own little group anyway, if that makes sense. You've got a really good, strong little family unit, and that's nearly what it's like here for us with our staff as well. We're all sort of pitching in and doing what we can. So I think resilience is really important, and I think that's something that we've got in spades, and we're putting it to good use.
Has the crisis heightened your awareness of resources and waste? Are you reevaluating what you need and what you throw away in your own life and in the business?
Yes, what we're finding is, we're utilising what we have to hand, which is our fabrics, not only our merino wool, but also cotton as well. Um, we're looking at, we're talking to our spinners and knitters and seeing what they've got that they would normally put aside for something else and seeing what we can actually use. I guess within our business, we tend to use most things anyway and always have done. And I guess that once again comes from our farming background. We put something aside and don't throw it out because maybe it'll be good for using later on. And we've found that that's happening now. Say, for example, bags and boxes that we haven't used for a while, instead of throwing them out or giving them away, we've kept them, and now we're actually sort of utilising them. So I think, and we keep a lot of our offcuts, and we're finding that we can actually make masks out of those pieces of offcuts as well. So that's really important, which is why last week we had all our masks in a lot of different colours, which we're now back to 2 colours, but people are now wanting more colours again. So we'll see where we go.
And can you tell us about, maybe just more on that, whereabouts are the masks going to, Kerrie, and what volume are you producing?
Right at the moment, most of the masks are going direct to public, but we have had a couple of companies, Howe Farming Enterprises in North Queensland. We sent 600 units out to them last week for their staff. James Howe up there, he recognises the importance of looking after his staff, and he's worn our products many times in the past, and he realised how good it was for his staff in North Queensland. We're also sending out to companies like Flannery's Organics for their frontline staff who are in their stores. So it's a little bit of a mix, but the majority is direct to consumer at the second.
And Kerrie, can you tell us a bit about your daily routines and strategies to stay sort of healthy and sane at this particular time in our history?
Okay. Well, for me, the first thing I do in the morning is I take my beautiful dog for a walk down on the beach. There's no one about, or I take her to just some paddocks not far from me where I live. No one ever goes there except me, and it's fantastic. And I get a little bit of fresh air, sunshine, and time to spend with my dog. And then this morning, I took an extra 15 minutes and watered all my plants and flowers in the garden. And that to me is really important. I just need that little bit of me time. I'm not getting a lot of that at the moment, but just getting back in touch with outside, the sun, the plants, and also eating really well and making sure that we actually have, good nutritious meals. And we've got wonderful family and friends who are actually dropping meals in for us because we're working quite long hours at the moment. But that to me that's really important. Oh, and sleep. I need lots of sleep. So I've actually been going to bed a little bit earlier, and because we're getting up quite early, and just trying to get more than my 8 hours. It seems to be slipping back to about 6 at the moment, but I'm just trying to get good sleep.
And are you finding these sort of, the hands-on action with, gardening, walking, creating and making, are they helping soothe you and enhance your well-being at this time, or is it kind of just a faster version of normal?
I think what it's doing for me is a sense of purpose. So, it's the world has gone crazy. Who would have thought we'd be in this sort of predicament? And I guess instead of having to worry about the long-term effects, which there will be many, and worrying about, friends and family who may be in the high risk category, my way of dealing with this is to be busy. And I guess being able to do something, because I'm the sort of person I need to be doing things, and this is, I guess, my way of contributing and hopefully making a difference to not only the general public, but, you know, all my friends and family. We want them to survive so that we've got them around when we come out the end. And to me, you know, if I can just do this one good thing, that's, you know, in this whole crazy episode, if it's just to provide masks, that's one thing I can do. I have that. That's in my control. Everything else is out of control. This is something I can control.
So your best piece of advice to others in dealing with this is find your purpose and act on that, or something?
I think so. No, I think you need a purpose, and it doesn't have to be doing what we're doing and making masks. But I think if people are having to self-isolate and stay at home, your purpose might be get that garden in order, clean out those Tupperware drawers, or do something that actually, so you're not sitting thinking about what's going on. I mean, I love all the amazing video clips that are coming through with different songs and things that people are doing. I mean, we tend to use humour to combat, you know, these times of stress, and I think that's just great that people are doing it, because they're not only doing something for themselves, they're doing something for other people. So I think, yeah, I mean, you can sit and wallow, but you can also do something that makes a little bit of a difference.
So thinking longer term, Kerrie, what sort of social, cultural, economic changes do you see that might emerge from this crisis? Having local manufacture would obviously be one of them.
Absolutely. I think we're going to see a massive change in our whole world. I think that we'll see a lot more production coming back onshore. I think there'll be a change in community attitude to the sort of businesses that are important. And I think we're seeing that now, that the types of careers and jobs that are important right now are, you know, frontline people who are medical, grocery, you know, those jobs that people usually don't think too much about. You know, people looking more at high tech and social media type jobs nowadays, and some of those hands-on jobs, simply, you know, producing a product or selling an item over the counter, are suddenly, you know, growing food is really important. And I think there will be a massive resurgence of local production, and I think there'll be a lot of government support. To me, what's really important now is friends, family and health. And I think that's something that it'll be nice to see. You know, we need to slow down, smell the roses, look after ourselves and our family and friends, and for us, our customers as well.
Great, thanks for those insights, Kerrie. It was lovely to talk to you. We'll actually see you in person again another day.
Would you like to see one of my masks?
Oh, yes, of course. I'd love to see one.
So,
you've got two versions, have you? A larger one and a smaller one?
We do. Well, basically, it's really, we've got different colours, so it just sort of fits up nicely over the face. And that one's a black and red one. And I just have here a nice one in natural undyed, because we have a lot of people who have, you know, just like the natural look. And that just ties up around the back, which I won't do now for you, but yeah.
And how many layers of wool have they got, Kerrie?
At the present, we're looking at 3 layers. So what we've learnt with our work with UQ is the second layer is the most important. It's what's catching particles, but the reality is the mask itself, it's not a P2 mask and it's not a surgical mask. It's simply a mask that acts as a barrier. And one of the most important things at the moment is that people do not touch their face with their hands, especially when you're out, because you just want to get away from that completely. And I think if you've got a mask on when you're out in public, what we're being told is that will act as a barrier and basically, hopefully, keep you safe.
Yeah, and they're washable, Kerrie, in hot water?
Yeah. Washable in hot water. The best thing to do is really hot water and then dry them in the sun, and just to change them regularly. So you don't want to be probably washing them every day. That's important.
Great. And you're working very hard to deliver sufficient quantities. I guess it's great being an online business too, Kerrie, at this time. You can post them out.
Um, yes, it is, and I guess this is how we've structured our business, and it just happens to be working for us. We've actually shut the front door at the moment. We don't, because we've got staff working here. We really don't want people actually coming in and to our retail showroom, so we are sending out. And I think, yeah, what it's shown us that our systems that we've got in place, that we've had in place for quite a long time in how we get our product out to consumers is working. So that's very, very, yeah, good to know.
Good planning meets opportunity.
That's right, exactly. Some would call it luck.
Well
I would
done,
call it
Kerrie.
hard work. I would call it hard work.
Yes, so 20 years, 27 years of planning comes into its own.
That's right, exactly. And I think things like having worked with defence and police and government at different levels, and knowing that we need to have different protocols in place and systems has also helped us. They're already in place and they're there, and we're working with them. So, and at the moment, we are working closely with government on a couple of projects, and we'll just watch this space.
Well done, Kerrie.